Good morning. It is day one. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Monday. Welcome to the 5-day challenge. We're going to kick it off, and I'm going to get right into things this morning because I know you guys probably have a lot of plans today, and I thank you for giving me some time, taking an hour and a half out of your holiday to spend it with me. I promise it will be worth it. It looks like we are streaming in the group, and if some of you have been here before, you kind of know how it works. For those of you who haven't, I'm going to go live all week for about an hour and a half every day, Monday through Friday, and then I'll give you through the weekend to catch up on the replays. All the replays will be available inside this group all the way through Sunday, but then Monday morning, they will all be gone. I remove the recordings, the replays at the end of this week. Unless you have a VIP access pass, and then you get the recordings forever. And we have Q&A sessions every day after each training. But I'm not here to pitch you this week. I'm here to give you the steps this week that will help you change your life and move forward from wherever you're at. Okay. I'm going to give you my opinions this week, very specifically on how you take control of where you're at and then build on it in a specific way, right? How to leverage other people's groups, how to get other people to work with you, for you, and to help you move in the direction that you want to go and make money doing what you want to do. So if you haven't already, right above this video, allow StreamYard access to your comments. That lets me see who's commenting inside of where I'm streaming from. So I stream from StreamYard into the Facebook group, and I like to interact with you guys. I like to hear that you're here. I like to see how your days are going. I like to see if stuff's clicking with you mentally when you have those gold nugget when you recognize a gold nugget, I guess I would say. So allow access to your comments, and then that way I can see who's commenting on the inside. And this is live, so feel free to comment and interact with me. Tell me how your morning's going, if you're excited to be here. Tell me where you're from, stuff like that. Even if you're watching on the replay, put it in there, because for this whole week, I will make it a point to check your comments and get the questions answered for you. All right, let's dig into it. For those of you who don't know what this is all about and who I am and everything else, I'll take a little bit to get into that and kind of tell you a little bit more about me and my story. And then we're going to get you super clear today. So I know so many people struggle with shiny object syndrome, not knowing what to do when you come to work every day, especially when you're working for yourself. And if you're working, if you have a W-2 job and then you're coming in and trying to build your own business and make something and change your life, it's really hard to do. So today I'm going to clarify that for you, and I'm going to give you some practical steps. And this is a challenge, so I'll make sure you have some homework this week. Because I want you to actually take action. I want you to implement this stuff. I get messages from people that have been through the challenge, and it's very encouraging for me, and it fires me up and makes me excited to be here. And I'm excited about this one because people from the last one have messaged me saying they made money already, and it's only been 3 weeks. There's people that have gotten jobs. There's people that have made money. There's people that are doing things, or just completely rebuilt their mindset, and they feel confident moving forward and have started taking those steps to move forward in a positive way. And they send me those messages, and it fires me up to be here. And at the same time, it makes me sad because of how many people I know will watch this and instantly go out, join the next challenge, and never do anything with it. So I want to challenge you right now at the beginning, before we even dig in, to take what you learn and implement it right away. Each day. Okay. I know you have extra time on your hands today, so take an hour, go through this, even if it's on the replay, watch it later tonight. It doesn't matter, but take the time, go through it, do the homework, and then do the same thing tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to try and build from one day to the next, all 5 days, so that we're building on top of each other. So if you stay for the whole 5 days, we're going to get you in line to where you know exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it. And then we're going to build on that. This is how we do it. This is what we set up to get there. This is the process that I do every day to get there. Okay. I'm going to build on top of it for you over the 5 days. So I need you to show up, and I need you to learn and then implement it. Don't go looking for the next thing. If you're here for the 5-day challenge, stay for the 5-day challenge. Don't do another challenge at the same time. Implement what you have going on this week. Okay. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Aaron Jennings. And 11 years ago, May, so this month, was my 11-year anniversary with my wife, and 11 years since we quit the police department, sold our house, and got married and took off as full-time missionaries. We did all that in 1 month, the month of May 2011. So we were actually police officers in Wichita, Kansas, and I had a big house on 10 acres of land, and I had went through a divorce. And honestly, like a year and a half, 2 years before that, I was really depressed with life and just burnout and struggling, and and had to turn all of that around. I had grown up like seeking God and putting God first in my life, and I really thought that I had done everything right, spiritually and by the ways of the world, what I've been taught, and the way that you do things, and the way that you date and get married, and all of that type of stuff. And so to find myself going through a divorce and then being on the police department where everything's very negative all the time, it was a very toxic environment for me personally. Some people I know are like put there, and I'm excited that they're there, taking care of us, and I love it. It wasn't where God wanted me to be. And as you'll find this week, I'm not going to push my beliefs and values on you, but I am honest with what I believe and why I do what I do. So for me, God's first in everything. And at that point in my life, I had went through a divorce. That job was very toxic for me. It was a very negative place to be, and it was pulling me backwards into depression. And I had to change that situation. So right now, I know some of you are going through divorce, have went through divorce, are not sure about your job, are hoping there's something better, are trying to figure out how to do something better. And so I want to give you some quick nuggets here and not spend too much time on my story, but I've been depressed, suicidal. I've had that job that I woke up every day, went to the police department, and I realized like this is the next 30 years to retirement, and that's all there is to life. I go to work, I come home, I spend my days off working on my house, and that was it. Like good pay, good benefits, good retirement. But, you know, and I had my dream house, I had some land, and I was like, okay, this is it. And I realized I was created for more than that. And you are too. If you're just going through the motions and you're just going to work, you are created for more than that. You can do more than that. You're capable of more than that. Okay. Don't let anybody around you tell you differently. And if they do change your circle, they aren't worth holding on to. I guarantee you. There's a better place out there for you. There are better people out there. There are better jobs out there. Okay. So hear me and apply this. Okay. The first thing, like today, is all about creating clarity. Okay. And I have to get this through to you first. I have to get you to understand that you are valuable. You are worth something. You are capable of more, no matter what anybody around you tells you, period. You just have to decide to. And if you decide that you are and that you want to do more, then you can. Okay. 2011, quit the police department. I was dating my now wife, and we actually quit the police department, sold the house, got married, left the country as full-time missionaries in the month of May 2011. So it was a very big month. 7 days later, we find ourselves standing in the slums of Kenya, Kitale, Kenya. We spent 30 days in an orphanage there. And while I was standing in the slums of Kenya, there was this guy that was dying in the mud. And I asked him, like, what's wrong with him? And people are like, well, he's dying, but there's nothing we can do about it. The government won't help us. Nobody here has any money. And so basically, like, he's just going to die there. He's just going to lay in the mud next to these trash igloos where people were living, literal trash igloos. They were taking sticks, bending them in the shape of igloos, and then layering trash and paper over it. And then they would bend more sticks to hold the trash down. And then they'd layer more trash, more sticks, more trash. And they literally made igloos out of garbage that they found along the streets and dug out of trash cans. And this is where people were living. And I remember looking at the situation and just couldn't understand or couldn't believe that people were still living this way, right? This was 11 years ago. So it's 2022. It was what, 2010, somewhere in there. And 2010, like, people are still living in garbage. We know people live on the streets. It happens all around us. It don't have to go to Kitale, Kenya for it. It's right here in the United States. It's right here on our own streets. It's everywhere. right? But that right there is where I was just like, man, alive. Like I worked on the police department in the hood for 5.5 years, and I saw people really struggling. And I tried to help a lot of people while I was there. And there's only so much you can do, right? And now it's even worse. They're living in garbage igloos. And I remember thinking, what if I was standing here as a rich missionary instead of a broke one? And a lot of people think they give up their job and go into ministry or go into missions. And now it's like we need to live humble, which to a lot of people means broke. And I fully disagree. That's when it like struck me as I live in a country. I have all these resources at my fingertips. I am capable of doing more than what I'm doing for myself to work and pay my own bills and take care of my own family. I was like, I'm capable of more than that. I can do more than that. But remember, this was 11 years ago. I had no idea what I was doing. I spent my life working for other people. I had no idea how to create life. I was still reacting to life. Whatever was in front of me was just the way it was. And I had to go to work. I had to pay the bill. I had to do whatever was in front of me. And a lot of you feel that way. And I want you to hear me. You can shape your life. You can change it. You can create whatever you want. That's where this clarity comes in. Okay. What we are going into today with clarity and creating massive clarity for your life is because I know you want to shape something differently or you wouldn't be here. And if you hang around for the 5 days, it shows me that you really want to shape something different or you wouldn't be here or you won't hang around for the 5 days. And that's fine. If this isn't for you, I want you to decide quickly and go find what is for you because I don't want you to waste your time. I'm going to be very adamant about spending your time where it is most valuable to get you where you need to be. Okay. So for me, I was sitting there and I was just like, how are people living like this? This gets me fired up to do more. And then from that point on, it took me 6 years trying to figure out how to make money online because I had one question. How do I make money from anywhere in the world so that I could be free to go wherever God calls me to go, whenever he calls me to go? And when I'm there, I could have the money to fix whatever problem is in front of me, and I could stay for as long as God told me to. So how do I go where God wants me to go and still be able to make money while I'm there so that if I see this guy dying in the mud, I can pull him out of the mud and I can take him to the hospital. If I see people living in trash igloos, I can tear those things down and build them someplace to live. We also collected money, and $260 amongst 12 Americans was all we could scrape together, and it fed 50 people for 2 weeks. And there was a lot of the people in my group that were like, wow, this is really great. We did a lot. And all I could think of was how pathetic it was that 12 Americans could only come up with $260. And that 2 weeks from now, the same 50 people are going to be starving again because there was no duplication to it. There was no model that was recurring that would keep feeding them. There was nothing that we had given them that was going to create food for them long term. Okay. And so it struck this chord in my mind of how do we keep things going? Not how do I walk in and give somebody a sandwich and then leave, but how do I teach a man to fish? Right? How do we change the atmosphere of the rooms that we're in? How do we help as many people as humanly possible? This challenge is an example of how I have figured out to help more people. I am in Fort Myers, Florida right now. I was born and raised in a 2,000 person town in Kansas, 30 minutes from the Nebraska border, where everybody grows up and takes over their family business. And that's great. But if you're in that situation, how do you reach out farther? How do you help people outside of there? How do you help more people, touch more people? Well, today we've got all this technology at our fingertips, right? I can poke a few buttons on the computer, go live, and we've got people watching from anywhere, from wherever. I've seen people saying they're from Arizona, Tennessee. It's awesome. Thank you for your time today. I promise I'll make it worth it. So we use the internet, right, to reach out farther and faster. So 11 years ago, I'm standing in the slums of Kenya. How do we help more people? This is ridiculous. How do I feed people? How do I put shelter over people? How do I give people clean water? How do we do that and still be available to go? It took me 6 years to try and figure out how to make money online. That's when I went to a free 2-hour seminar, right, where they teach you everything they can about real estate. They hook you with wholesale, and and try to sell you the 3-day weekend. That was the first time I'd ever heard of wholesaling real estate, where you could flip paper and assigning the paper off as opposed to being the one swinging the hammer to flip houses. It was the first time I'd ever heard of it. And I grew up a handyman. I can build a house from a ground up. I've been a builder. I've been a handyman. I've done every piece of construction from start to finish. And once I heard of wholesaling, I was like, whoa, that's something I could do from anywhere in the world. I could contract a house and sell the paper from the slums of Kenya. Because even when we were in Kitale, Kenya, where people are living in trash igloos and it's just like really, really third world, people could still get internet on their phones. We could still get an internet chip card to put into our laptop at the guest house and have internet. So I could flip paper from the orphanage in Kenya. And then I could go to the slums, right? That would have worked. Now, granted, remember, this is 6 years after Kenya. I'm still trying to figure out how to make this happen. So when I hear wholesale, I'm like, that changes my family tree forever. That allows me to go anywhere in the world and make this happen. Okay. Now, when I went to that 2-hour free seminar where they teach you wholesaling and I learned of wholesaling, I was like, this is amazing. At that point, I went all in on wholesaling. I swiped a credit card with money I didn't have and I bought their 3-day weekend. I was the first one up, first one in the back of the room. I signed up, swiped my card and went. And that, I think it was only, excuse me, I think it was only a week or 2 weeks later, and I was at the 3-day weekend. And during that 3-day weekend, I ignored everything they had to say, except for wholesaling, period. It was, how do I do what I heard in that 2-hour free seminar that you did? How do I do that? And what's crazy is, when I went to that free 2-hour seminar, it was 3 months before we were moving to China. So 3 months before I knew we were moving out of the country for a year, where I was going to be a stay-at-home dad, because my wife had taken a job teaching English at a local private school in China, and we were moving for a year. And so we had already accepted that contract when I heard about wholesaling. So I went all in. I was like, hey, 3 months from now, I'm leaving the country and I got to know how to do this from China or it's not going to work. And so I literally blocked out everything about flipping and rentals and sandwich lease options and all these creative things that were out there. And I was like, only focused on wholesaling, period. How do I assign contracts? How do I wholesale real estate, period? If you're not talking about that, I wasn't paying attention. And I literally just focused 100% on that. I was so focused on it, it was ridiculous. And I remember at the end of the 3 days, the lady who had sat next to me the whole time for 3 days, she leans over and she goes, what do you think? You going to try it? And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Have we been sitting through the same 3 days? Because to me, this is life-changing. To me, trash igloos get turned into decent houses. To me, wells get drilled and people get clean water. To me, today, we go to the grocery store and buy food and we give it to people on the corners, and my daughters get to see right here that they can feed people. To me, life changed. The way that we did things, the things that were available changed for me mentally. And that still is what drives me, even when things suck right now. If things are going horrible right now, that's what I'm thinking about. That going to work 8 to 5 isn't going to provide anything other than my bills. And so it drives me and it pushes me to create this. She sat through the same 3 days and was like, I might try it. And I guarantee you there's people in here that are going to watch this for 5 days and go, that was interesting. There's a few good things in there. And then they're going to go back and they're going to keep spinning your wheels the same way that you've been spinning them up to this point. And I hope that's not you. I'm challenging you to take this and implement it. Because with extreme focus, I sat through that 3 days. And I think I got 3 houses under contract in that next 3 months before we even left for China. I had my first deal closed and my first paycheck in my hands for $10,400 and some dollars, 45 days after that free 2-hour seminar. So I went to a free 2-hour, talked about wholesale. Then 45 days later, I had a check in my hand for over $10,000. I've never had any kind of education pay off that fast. Real estate can allow you to make a lot of money very quickly if you know what you're doing, if you know how you're doing it. Okay. And everything on YouTube is teaching you how to do it, but they're not putting it in order for you. And I'm sure a lot of you have shiny object syndrome to where, oh, well, I tried this for a couple weeks. It's not working. I'm going to do this. Oh, there's a new challenge. I'm going to do that. Ooh, flipping houses would be cool. Oh, I've got a seller willing to sell. What am I going to do with it? You have to know like what you're going to do with it. And if that doesn't work, what's the next thing you're going to try? And if that doesn't work, what's the next thing you're going to try? Like there's a process to work through to where it's consistent and it shows up and you show up the same every day and you know what you're doing and how you're doing it and why. This allows us to show up with power. It allows you to show up clear. It allows you to show up, deliver an hour and a half worth of training to teach people something, and then go hang out with your family in the afternoon because you know the work's done. Because it's done in a way that is going to build towards exactly what it is that you're trying to create. This is me scaling my helping people. I can go one-on-one and I can help people. I can jump online, I can help more people. So both are budgeted into my life. What does your life look like and why? Now this week, I'm going to tell you, I'm here to focus on how do I help you get to your first 100K as quickly as possible. I am not about like go buy a bunch of software when you're starting out. For those of you, if you're already doing $1 million a year in real estate, this isn't your week. You'll waste your time here. Go do something else. This is for people that are trying to get started, struggling with this, trying to figure it out. You're all over the place. You're trying to make it work. You know that it works because you see people doing it, but you're struggling with it. It doesn't mean that you haven't been at it for a while, because I know people that have been at it 3 years and they still haven't done their first deal. And so I'm going to address that this week and I'm going to help you with that. But don't go spending money on software. Don't go doing all sorts of cold calling and crazy stuff. I want to simplify it, bring it into order. Okay. And so for this week, that step-by-step, how do we make money using Facebook with no money out of your pocket? That's what we need to focus on. Okay. So this week is going to be very to the point. Like when I went to that wholesale seminar and I was like, wholesaling is it, period. Don't talk to me about anything else. I did 12 deals that first year and over 10 of them, or 9 or 10 of them, were from China. So as a stay-at-home dad, taking care of my 2-year-old and 4-year-old daughters from China, I wholesaled 10 houses and flipped 2 from China that first year. That was year 1 for me. It was $108,000 is what I made that first year. And let me tell you something, if we can get you to your first 100K strategically, okay, it's not just getting to your first 100K, but it's learning during that first 100K to keep your expenses low, to keep the simplicity of your systems so easy that even on your worst day, you can accomplish them. If you make it to where it's a compounding process, do this today, do this tomorrow, do this tomorrow, do this tomorrow, and you can get to where you do the same thing every day, it compounds. You work the same market, you meet more and more people, your connections get better, they get deeper, they get stronger, which makes it easier to do things because people know, like, and trust you. Okay? This is what we're going into. So we're going to focus super hard on wholesale and assignment this week, period. And I'm going to show you how to do it without that, all that other stuff. So if you're not interested in that, now this stuff can work for everybody. Okay. What I'm teaching you can work for anything. It will be valuable, whatever you're doing, but I want to focus you. My first, that first 3-day weekend that I paid for, they talked about sandwich lease options. And I was just like, not interested, way over my head. It's going to be confusing. I don't want to deal with it. Wholesale, period. How do I do it from China? Period. That's all I need to know. Blocked out everything. 5 years later, sandwich lease options are the coolest thing in the world. I love it. They're fantastic. You can create cash flow with nothing else. It's crazy. I absolutely love it. But there is a rabbit hole there, a deep, deep rabbit hole of creative finance. Creative finance is awesome, but not if you haven't even gotten started. Okay. How do you get started? How do you create it consistent? How do we put money in your bank as quickly as possible without spending hundreds and thousands of dollars a month on marketing and software? Okay. This week, I'm going to give you a free app that will give you a way to track your leads so you know your follow-up and you can actually get things done in your business without needing to pay for any software. Okay. I'm going to give you that this week. I'm going to show you how to get leads in this week for free. Okay. So you won't need to do any marketing. You don't need fancy websites or anything else. I'm going to teach you how to use Facebook so that you can use your social profiles. And if you're not sure if this works or you don't like that idea, then take that as an emotion, because there's difference between facts and emotions. Emotions go, I don't know, Aaron. Well, my question is what you're doing working? Because if what you're doing is working, then yeah, you don't need to take anything I have to say. Go do what's working. Stick with it and dial it up. But if what you're doing isn't working, then don't question whether what somebody is teaching you will work until you double down and try it. Because there's people making $1 million a year just with the social media funnel that I'm going to teach you guys this week. My whole business is running this way. We haven't ran any marketing to date that for any of these challenges or coaching or anything that I've done for the past 5 years. I haven't paid for marketing for any more than a month to 3 months. We tested some stuff and it didn't work. It was a complete waste of money. We dropped $11,000 on marketing over 3 months and made absolutely nothing on one of our times. So it was like, there's unnecessary ways that you can go about this. And the fact is, whoever's referring it is typically getting an affiliate commission to refer it off. I have affiliate links to products that I think are amazing, but are you at that point? Software, automation stuff, those CRMs that everybody's telling you to sign up for, they're great if you have money to pay for them, and if you put the time into learning how to use them, and if you know how to train your team to where they actually use them, and if you have habits in place to show up and use them properly every day. Because if not, they end up being a tech nightmare. And all you end up doing is trying to make it work, and you're never actually doing anything that leads to money. So here I want to talk to you. What's the fastest way to money? How do we keep your expenses as low as humanly possible? And how do you make it work in the real world with kids, families, jobs, hobbies, everything else, right? For me, my ministry is most important, period. Spending time discipling people, spending time like leading groups and teaching people about God and stuff like that. That's where my time needs to be spent. Second, my family. Third, other people in business. Okay, like I have priorities. I have a way that I'm doing it, and that stuff drives me to do it the way that I do it. Okay, so now let's jump into how do you create that? Because I have a way of doing it. I have people that say this was a bad idea because we're starting on Monday, Memorial Weekend. Well, I don't care, because it's only an hour out of the day and I want you to win. And this is an easy hour of the day and I want you to win. People have time off. You decide, right? I'm going to stick with the way I do things because it works and because people get results. I have people saying, Aaron, you just need to run ads. Don't waste time with that 5-day challenge. Just run ads and book them on a call. I'm like, man, it feels sales pitchy, because people don't trust me. They don't know me. I haven't given them anything of value. You want me just to run an ad, push them to just book a call, and then have a salesman try to sell them. I don't like selling people. I want to give you something that changes your life. And then if you want to work with me, you'll ask me. And that's an easier sale because you know that I can get you results at that point. And you know that we can actually do something together and you're excited about it. There's no selling anybody. Okay? Put in the comments if anything is making sense to you, if this is meaning anything to you guys, if you like it, if you don't. Either way, I'm okay with it. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear if anything's actually sinking in so far. Now, I want to shift you. First of all, you got to shift from a consumer to a creator. And this is an easy look for you. When you jump into social media, anything, are you creating or are you consuming? And if you're consuming, are you consuming with purpose for a set amount of time, or you get stuck in a rabbit hole of 4 hours of watching videos? Okay, these are real questions. This is part of your homework, so pay attention. This is a real question. Put it in the comments. Are you a creator or are you a consumer? When you jump on social, are you creating something that will get you to the life that you are trying to create with intention? Or are you consuming something from other people? And then are you consuming with purpose, or are you consuming just to fill your time because you're bored? Okay, these are hard questions. This is where it starts. Because right now, and I'm going to use this as an example, and it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. Right now, we're in this challenge. I'm a creator, you're a consumer. It's okay. You're consuming with purpose, right? We're consuming with purpose. How long? 5 days. You're going to consume, and then you're going to put it to work today. Then tomorrow, you're going to consume, and then you're going to put it to work. Wednesday, you're going to consume, and then you're going to put it to work. You're going to consume, and then you're going to create. It's okay to consume if you know why and for how long. Like, what's the purpose, right? So this week, your purpose is to figure out, how do I do deals on Facebook with no money out of my pocket, right? That's the point. That's why you're here. The purpose of this week is, how do we get rid of shiny object syndrome? How do we get you leads that are coming in that don't cost you anything, so that you don't run out of money before you have a chance to even land a deal, right? How do you take control of your time so that you realize you do have enough time in the day? It's just an excuse you've had. Because if you don't create a way to track your time, you don't create a plan and a process, then you're just going to consume, and then you find yourself watching stupid videos and you're like, holy crap, it's been an hour and a half. What have I even watched? But this is an example, right? I'm on social media this morning. I'm creating. You're on social media this morning. You're consuming. This is not me putting you down. It's me pulling back the curtain to show you, okay? I want you guys to create your life. So I'm going to use my stuff as an example to show you. I'm not going to run you through some sales process for 5 days. I'm going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what I'm doing, because everything that I'm going to teach you this week is why you're here. Every one of you are here. And even though this is free, I'll make money in the long run off of this. And I'm not going to pitch you all week. I'm not going to pitch you anything. I'm not going to sell you anything this week. I'm going to give it to you for free. And I'm going to show you exactly how I'm doing what I'm teaching you and how it turns into money for me. So if you take this, it will do the same for you. And if you question, well, I don't know if that'll work, then it's simple. Have you done it? Is your way working? Because if not, it's an emotional response, and you need to take control of that right now and then just make a decision. Either you want to listen to me and try it, or you don't. Don't be that lady that sits through a 3-day weekend that she paid a lot of money for and then go, I don't know, you going to try it? Don't do that. Decide right now that you're going to take it. You're going to consume and create. Consume, create. Anytime you consume anything, it should be something that will help you create your next thing. Don't consume the next thing until you have created from the first thing. That's why I said today you'll have homework. It's a challenge. I want you to actually learn something, and I want you to do something tonight. Okay. And then tomorrow you're going to learn something, and I want you to do something. It's a process that will always be dialing in and growing. I get it. You won't get it all done from one day to the next. Okay. But the fact that you consume and create starts to create a habit in you, a rhythm of life of, I only consume when there's something I'm trying to create. Think about when you searched Google or you search YouTube for the answer to a problem. Okay. It's typically because you have a problem and you want to figure out how to solve it. So you say, how do I do X, Y, Z? And you jump on YouTube. How do I do this, this, this? That's consuming, right? You're going to search and you're going to watch a video and try to figure out how to do it. But then you're going to go and actually do it, right? Let's say it's something like change a flat tire on your car, or change the alternator, or how do I put string in my weed eater, right? You're searching YouTube to figure out how to string your weed eater. And then what? You're just going to keep going to the next video for the next 12 hours, for the next year, for the next 5 years? No. At some point, you stop watching YouTube videos and you string your weed eater and you weed eat your yard, right? Yet there's a lot of people in here and a lot of people I've coached and talked to that have spent 3 years learning how to string their weed eater, and they've never weed eated the yard. They're still learning how to do a wholesale, and they've never even talked to a seller. They've never even tried to partner with anybody else. They've never tried to do anything with the information. Okay, so we have to consume, watch the YouTube video on how to string your weed eater, but then we need to create. You need to string the weed eater and turn it into a cleaner yard, right? Same thing here. Take what you're learning, consume very intentionally to answer the question, how do I make money with Facebook doing this, right? That's the question. Now I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you're going to actually do it. So we're going to become a creator instead of just a consumer. And it's a simple switch of the mind. Write it down. If you don't write it down, it's not going to happen. So write this down. Become a creator, not a consumer. Consume and then immediately create. Consume, immediately create. Write it down. Anything you don't write down, 85% of what you don't write down will be gone within 48 hours. So within 2 days, you're going to forget this. Which means by the end of the challenge this week, you're going to forget 85% of what was day 1 and day 2 if you're not writing this down and taking notes. Okay? As this stuff stands out, use your notes right here in the group. Put them in the comments. Take them on your paper. Put your notes right here in the comments so that other people can see that you're writing them down. It encourages other people. I am here to encourage you and motivate you and teach you something. But I can tell you what, guys, when you take this and you implement it and then you share your story, what you're doing, it inspires everybody else in here, because there's a lot of you that still think I'm here to pitch you this week because that's what's been sold to you for years. I'm sure everybody in here at some point or other has sat through a 2-hour waste of webinar and has sat through courses or bought a course and never finished it, or watched hundreds of hours of YouTube videos that just wasted their time. And or seen the ads where it's like, here, I'm going to give you a freebie, and then it's really a sales call, right? Hey, let's get your free strategy session. And they try to sell you and they hard sell you, and then they never follow up again, right? Like, I'm sure that's what a lot of people are used to. So with me delivering for 5 days, it's probably going to be a shock to you that I don't pitch for 5 days. It's going to be hard for you to understand. And so I'm trying to get your head changed right now to say, okay, he's given real value. Take it. Now, how do you create? How do you take what I'm giving you? You're consuming it. Create right now in the notes. Become someone who influences other people for the better. Because the people in the comments, they're going to see you do it and they're going to be like, ooh, well, they're doing it. It only takes me a minute. I'll do it. And it gets people moving. These are little steps, little actions that help us move towards becoming the type of person that takes actions. Okay. How do we make it happen on our worst day? Okay. I see one person putting it in there. That's great. And I see somebody in here who has made money and gotten a job, I believe, from the last challenge. There's only in a few weeks. Only within a few weeks, she was able to put money in her pocket. And for her, it turned into a job that she's enjoying and she loves it. And I know she was at a rough place, and I'm going to let her share her story if she wants to. But when she shares her story of how this challenge helped her, that will help other people feel like this is more valuable than hearing it from me. Because in the back of your mind, I'm the salesman. And so I'm really challenging you guys right now to like step up into the comments, step up into the group and be active, because you are inspiring each other by being here and doing it and then saying what's happening. Okay. It inspires other people to move. Okay. So becoming a creator instead of a consumer. We have to learn to consume with purpose for a set amount of time and then create something. Okay. Clarity. Creators are able to create because they know exactly what they're doing and why. So if I ask you, what is it that you do? A lot of people are going to say, I'm a real estate investor. Well, let me ask you something. If I meet you in a room and I say, hey, my name's Aaron, I'm a real estate investor. Put in the comments, what is it that you think I do? Because this is a good exercise, because a lot of you are walking around telling people, oh, I'm a real estate investor. Or a lot of you want to be a real estate investor, but you're struggling with that yourself, right? What does I'm a real estate investor mean? If somebody else says it to you, oh, I'm a real estate investor, do you know what they do exactly? If you tell somebody, I'm a real estate investor, do you know what you do exactly? Do you wholesale? Do you fix and flip? Do you assign things, or do you double close them? Do you do commercials? Are you only after apartment buildings more than 100 units? Are you trying to sandwich lease option everything and get a bunch of seller financed cash flowing properties? Like, what exactly are you doing? Because real estate investor is broad and vague. If you don't know what you're doing and you say, I'm a real estate investor, you may think you know what that means, but do you know what that means? Like, what are you doing? That first year when I learned about wholesale and then moved to China, here was my plan. Everything I get under contract, I immediately try to assign the contract, period. I don't double close. I don't waste time with anything. It's assign the paper off, period. That was the entire process. Goal one, main focus of every single property. Get it under contract, sell the paper. That's it. And that was like what I pushed and drove on. If I couldn't get the paper sold, then I would close on the property because I had lined up. I had made good connections because of the process. I'm going to teach you, I think on day, maybe tomorrow or the next day, we're going to talk about like winning relationships. I had created relationships that had money lined up to close. So it was assign the paper, period. Assign the paper, assign the paper, assign the paper. If I can't get the paper sold, then I close on it. I instantly just put it up on the open market with a realtor, like, hey, see if you can get this thing sold on the MLS 30 days. If it doesn't sell in 30 days, then I'm going to start a local handyman to get in there and do some work to get it fixed up so that I could turn it into a rental and try to sell it. And if I couldn't sell it, I held it as a rental. That was my process. I'm going to give you an offer making strategy later, I think tomorrow. But that was my process. Very clear. So when a house came to me, I wasn't like, hey, could I keep this as a rental? Ooh, maybe it'd make a good flip. There was none of that. It was assign the paper, period. The only way I hold it as a rental is if nothing else works and I end up at that point. Okay. If you want to flip houses, that's fine. Go straight to fix and flip right now because you will build your business around finding funding, finding contractors, finding people to oversee the jobs. You'll start analyzing properties different. You don't need to get them at a wholesale price. You can pay 10 grand more than a wholesaler because you're going to fix it and flip it, right? So you don't need that extra discount, okay? But you have to build your business around what specifically do you do. So pick one. This week, I'm talking about wholesale and assignment because how do I get you to make no money or make no money? How do I get money in your bank without spending any money, right? And assignment, selling the paper, is the way that you're able to do this. Now, you're still going to have earnest money. So I'm going to show you how to not have earnest money when we talk about relationships and bringing in the deals. But this is the importance of staying for 5 days, okay? Today is just the clarity. So your homework for tomorrow is to figure out what exactly are you doing. If you want to say from today that you're going to fix and flip and you want to buy houses and you're going to run crews and you want to flip them yourself and sell them, that's fine. Choose today. Tonight's your homework. You say, that's what I do. So when people ask, hey, what do you do? And you're trying to tell yourself what you do, you're not going to say, I'm a real estate investor. You're going to say, I find discounted properties and I flip them for a profit. Like what you see on HGTV. I buy them, I fix them up, I sell them. Let's say, so if I'm a wholesaler and I'm going hardcore wholesale and I talk to anybody, what do? I don't say I'm a real estate investor. I say, oh, I help flippers find their next flip. You see how much more specific that is? How much more to the point that is? This is called an elevator pitch. Okay? An elevator pitch, the concept is, if me and you walk from different sides of the hallway and we both come together in the elevator and we both push the 5th floor, now we've got 30 seconds in an elevator till we get to the 5th floor, right? Naturally, a lot of times there's this little polite conversation, right? Hey, my name's Aaron. Where are you from? Where are you from here? What do you do? It's like everybody. Everybody's like, where are you from? What do you do? What's your name? Right? So if you say, oh, my name's Aaron. I'm from Fort Myers, Florida. I help flippers, people that fix and flip houses. I help them find the houses that they flip. If that person was a flipper in the elevator, they would be like, oh, what market do you work? Because I flip houses. I'm always looking for discount properties, right? It instantly would make that person, if they are my ideal client, if they are a fix and flipper, a cash buyer, see, if they're a cash buyer looking for properties, they're going to say something. They're going to be like, really? How long you been doing that? Because I'm always looking for properties in the Fort Myers area. Oh, great. Well, that's where we do it. We're actually all across Central Florida. Hey, it looks like we're on the 5th floor. How about I just give you my name and number and let's just talk later. because I'm sure you're going somewhere. 30 seconds gets you to the point. Now somebody knows specifically what you do. If we're in an elevator and say, I'm a real estate investor, it's going to lead to a longer conversation if they too are a real estate investor, but you only have 30 seconds in the elevator. So how do you get to the point quickly? Okay. That's the clarity in knowing what you do. Right now, I am not a real estate guru. Not at all. I am not teaching people how to do deals. I am a systems creator. Okay. At the end of that first year, in my first year from another country as a stay-at-home dad, I did 12 deals that year. And then I tried to expand into my second line of income, my second income stream, and everything just stopped. It just died. No more deals, no more money came in. And I realized that there was no system in place to keep it going. I was like, holy crap, I should hire a virtual assistant or somebody to help me so that they could do the real estate while I do this second stream of income. And then I realized, like, what would I teach them? I have no idea how to tell a virtual assistant what to do because there was no system in place. Even though I was super clear, I knew exactly what I was doing, how I was doing it, but I still hadn't built it in a way that someone else could do it for me. Okay, so this week I'm going to show you we're going to build stuff to where other people can do it for you. Okay, and the CRM to track your leads, I'm going to give you, that's a free app where you can just copy it. It will work for a virtual assistant or a spouse or a partner or anybody down the road, to where if anybody steps in, they know exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it, and could do it for you. That's the intention here. How are you creating something gets you fastest way to money? If I got 30 minutes in the elevator, I help flippers find the next flip. If they're a flipper, they're like, hey, I'm looking for flips. Here's my number. It's like quick, right? Oh, I'm a real estate investor. Really? I'm a real estate investor too. What do you do? Oh, well, we wholesale a little, we flip some, we hold some rentals. Oh, okay, great. That's kind of the same stuff we're doing. Yeah, exactly. You notice how like neither one of you really got anywhere? Like you didn't actually get anywhere. Both of you are just real estate investors and both of you are doing the same thing. But if one of you is a flipper and one of you is like specifically a wholesaler, now you have a product that can help solve their problem. I flip properties and I'm looking for properties. Oh, I have properties and I'm looking for somebody to buy them. Now you guys come together and you're fastest way to money. You can get to the money and make some money together. You can do some deals together. Get it? Fastest way to money. How do we get you moving towards the money? And this is the clarity. You have to have clarity in what you're doing. Okay? So tonight, your homework, clarity in what you're doing. What is your purpose? What is your focus? That doesn't mean, now I know some of you, okay, I know what's going through your heads because I've been coaching people for almost 4 years now, one-on-one. And I didn't start doing this stuff until after 3 years of working with wholesalers and flippers. So I know right now you're thinking, but Aaron, what if there's a really good deal that I want to flip? Well, then flip it when you have some money in your pocket. But let me ask you something right now. If you look at a deal and you look at it as, I could wholesale this, I could flip it, I could hold it as a rental, and you've never done a deal and you've got $300 a month going out in software that you don't know how to use, and you've got a website that nobody's coming to, and because all the gurus just told you to sign up for this stuff, then how are you going to flip a house? Like, you can pull it off, but it's going to take 100% of your focus and time and money and energy now. And for the next 3 to 6 months, it's going to be a stress on you because you don't know what you're doing yet. And you didn't have the money in your bank account to cover things like the monthly carrying costs. Like, there's more to it, right? So you have to get clear and you have to know what you're doing. You have to get focused. And then it's like, boom, this is what I do, period. Now, if you do a few deals, right? Let's say we go full-blown wholesale assignment, right? I told you I still flipped 2 deals my first year from China. Okay. But I had told you my sole focused intention, right, was to assign the property, period. Like, every property I get under contract, we're selling the paper, period. If we don't sell the paper, then we put it up on the open market for 30 days. If we couldn't get it sold in 30 days, then we just sell it. Okay. But then I told you I flipped 2 properties that first year. So I was solely focused on that's what I was doing, period. That's the only way to do it. Nothing else. Yet I still flipped 2 deals, 2 actual like renovation flips. Why did I do that if I was assigning? Because they were really good and I wanted to. And I had some money in my pocket and I knew what I was doing. And I had realtors now that I had good relationships with. And the title company knew me because I'd done multiple deals with them. And my title attorney was even a buyer. And I had private money that I got hooked up with because I'd been doing deals in my neighborhood. And so my relationships had compounded. And I was like, maybe I'll flip this one. The numbers look good. And I cherry picked the ones that I wanted and I flipped 2. And after flipping 2, I don't want to flip anymore. Which, if any of you have done this before, you may have decided the same thing. It's not because flipping is bad, but it took a lot longer and we had the carrying costs and there was more stress of like making sure people got stuff done. We had a contractor walk out, had to find somebody else to plug in. And honestly, like flipping houses is great, right? You can make a $10,000 mistake and still make money with flipping a house. So it's not a bad place to do your learning. But I decided I like the quicker money, right? How do we sell the paper in 30 days and get a payday and be done with it, as opposed to the next 6 months of trying to fix one up, list it, wait for it to sell, and all that type of stuff. So for me personally, it just solidified the way I wanted to do it. Okay. So when I realized at the end of that year that I didn't have systems in place, it was how do we make this work where other people can do it for me now? And that became my obsession. So right now, when I say I am not your real estate guru, I'm not selling you a real estate course on how to do a deal that's the same as everybody else's YouTube information. I am a systems creator. If you notice, I'm getting more into the technical side of things. It would be very easy to come in here and just be like, okay, this is how you get a wholesale deal. And this is how you fill out the contract so that you can wholesale it. But you know what? You can do that once, twice, 5, 10 times. I did it 12 times my first year. And as soon as I got distracted on a second stream of income, which is a good distraction, multiple streams of income are a good distraction if you're in the place to run multiple streams of income. And that's where there's something missing in all this information that you have. That's what's missing in the way that you've been doing things. You've been doing things like a hustler. I'm going to get a deal. I'm going to sell the paper. I got 10 grand, like, boom. Yes. Let's go on vacation, pay the bills, pay off the car, have a party, pop some champagne. And now you're out of money. There's no more leads. You don't have the next one in the pipeline. Nobody's doing any more work for you. Now you're out of money and you're back at ground zero. What did that really do for you? I mean, it was great that you made $10,000. I applaud you for the 2 weeks until that $10,000 was gone, because life's expensive, right? You have rent, you got to pay off your car, your medical bills, college, kids. Like, how far does $10,000 take you? But what if you build it in such a way that when you make that $10,000, there's another one coming in 2 weeks. There's 3 more in the next 2 months, right? Because your first $100,000, if you build it in a way that it can be duplicated, it's going to create rhythms and habits for you that other people could step into and do for you. And then you get to progress and grow and step back out of your business and it runs for you. Is this stuff clicking for you? Is it making sense? All of it comes down to being a creator. What are you creating? How are you doing it? And why are you doing it that way? I am a systems creator helping wholesalers, not all real estate, helping wholesalers make your first $100,000 organically. Why? Because I believe I can feed people and give people clean water on top of taking care of my family and changing my family tree. I believe people shouldn't be living in trash igloos and going without food. Whether I'm in the States or overseas, doesn't matter. There's people struggling everywhere. And I believe that what I'm doing by creating systems that help wholesalers hit your first 100K organically and helping you build businesses that actually scale and grow and get you your time back, that I am scaling my impact on the world. Systems make it duplicatable. This challenge is duplicatable. I could have 1,000 people in here, 10,000 people in here, or 2. It doesn't matter. It's scalable. It's duplicatable. I can show up. I can do it over and over and over. I could plug somebody else in here and tell them what to teach on. I got the notes laid out to where someone else could teach you this. The whole idea is that way it continues to help people past me. It doesn't need to revolve around me. Your business shouldn't revolve around you. It should be a systems-based business, not a people-based business. You look at McDonald's, the most expensive franchise there is, right? It's not that the food's good, but everybody could walk in. They could hire anybody off the street. Every single person who comes to work there will make the hamburger exactly the same as the person before him. It's a simple checklist, right? So if that's the idea, how do we take that, plug that into where we're at? Well, first of all, McDonald's knows exactly what they're doing and why. This is what we're going to deliver, and you can go anywhere in the world and it will be delivered exactly like that, right? So how do you do that? If you help flippers find their next flip, then how do you do that? How does that become everything that you represent? How does systems become everything that I'm known for? I'm doing this in ministry and missions now too. We're taking the systems that we use in business, plugging them into the missions world to help missionaries create missions that last past them. How does one missionary go into a place and plant a church, but then how do they ever grow to plant another church if they're the ones that planted it, but now they have to be there to run it? They got to know how to plant it, and then they got to know how to put people in place to run it so that it grows and it reaches more people. Because if that's our heart, then we need to reach as many people for the kingdom as possible. And that's my heart. What's your heart? What are you working for? How are you doing this? This is me scaling my impact, right? At first, it was how do I make money, make the business run to where I could go and do. Now, how do I help more people? Well, if I help you learn how to do it, I'm helping more people. Because if you're attracted to me, most likely you have a desire to help somebody too. It may not be for God, but you have a desire to help somebody, or you're probably not attracted to me at all, because I'm not the guy rolling around in a $10 billion jet. I'm the guy who's like, hey, let's make money and go give it away. And like, we enjoy it. How do we help people? It's what we feel called to do. So my business reflects that. And if I'm using systems in my business, how do I continue to scale it and grow it? Well, how do I take the systems of business and plug them into missions so that missionaries can reach more people? That way, it's not just me now going, but now I can help others go. And then what if I teach them how to make more where they're at? So then they can go on and do it again. You get what I'm saying? There's a clear purpose and intention of what we're doing, and I'm a systems guy. I'm not a wholesaler. I'm not a real estate guru. I'm not a flipper. Do I do other things? Yes. What do I want to be known for? What's my primary focus? What do I spend my time learning how to do and teaching other people how to do? Create the systems that duplicate whatever it is you're passionate about. Today is, what are you passionate about? What are you creating? Missions, ministry, God first, making disciples that make disciples. That's my primary focus in life, period. Everything else supports that. So how do I get better at doing that? Well, I can craft my business in a way that I teach people systems all the time. People ask questions all the time. It challenges me to find an answer every time. Makes me better at problem solving and creating more systems, which can be plugged in to missions or anything. Get it? Super clear on what I'm doing. I'm a systems creator. I love it. I problem solve and I make it work. How do you start wholesaling houses with your W-2 job, and then your kids picking them up from school, having family dinner time, and making it work for you in your life? That's what we're solving this week, because for most of you, that's where you're at. Aaron, I can't. I've got a W-2 job. I can't cold call 400 people a day because I'm at my W-2 all day, and then I got the kids' sports. I get it. And trust me, I'm on your side, and that's what I'm addressing this week. Okay? We are addressing that this week for you. I have your W-2 in mind. I have your family time in mind this week. Everything I'm going to show you here could be done in the middle of the night, 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, your 12 o'clock lunch break, your 3 in the afternoon, 15-minute break. What I'm going to teach you this week will fit into those gaps. Okay? But I need you to get clear on what you're doing in those gaps. If you have 15 minutes in the day, what do you do? Because if you are a wholesaler that helps flippers find their next flip, then all you need to do is find properties and find flippers. That's it. So what do you do when you have 15 minutes? How are you going to do it? That way, when you have a 15-minute break at work or you have 30 minutes in the carpool lane waiting to pick up your kids, what do you do specifically that moves you in the direction that you want to go? If I'm a systems creator helping wholesalers get your first 100K, I do not spend my 15-minute break learning how to acquire 100-unit apartment buildings because it's a distraction. It's pulling me away from where I'm going. It's running me in the wrong direction. It's a rabbit hole. It's a trap. It's a black hole. It's going to end up learning something valuable, but it's going to pull me away from what it is that I'm trying to do. Okay. So super focused and clear. Elevator pitch. If you have 30 seconds in an elevator, how do you tell somebody what you do? I help flippers find their next flip. We find discounted properties for flippers. You know, the people that fix and flip on TV, that's what I do. I flip houses. Oh, I acquire 100-unit apartment complexes. That's it. We're just trying to acquire cash flowing rentals. That's it. That's everything we do. If you got anything, we'd love to pick it up. So homework for today, super clear on what it is that you do. What it is that you do is what it is that you want to do. For those of you who are thinking, Aaron, I don't do this. Okay, we're crafting what you're going to do. Okay, you are building your life right now. It may be the first time you've thought about it, but you're thinking about it. So right now, while you're thinking about it, even if you haven't started, you don't know what you're doing, where do I start, Aaron? This is where you start. What do you want to do? I'm going to tell you, if you're working with no money and you're working with limited amounts of time, then you go straight to wholesale and assignment. And what I'm going to teach you this week is how to leverage other people to find the deals for you and then connect the dots and pull money out of it. Okay, that's what you need to be focused on. So write that down. Start to read it over and over and over. Start to tell yourself, that's what I do. Okay. Now I want to give you I'm going to pull up something and I'm going to show you an exercise that's going to show you how to master your time. Okay. Because with your W-2 and with your kids and everything else, I get it. And a lot of people say, oh, you need to time block. And I'm like, well, that's fantastic. How the crap do I do that? I get it. I've been in the same spot. I've paid $6,000 for a coach that said, you need to do this, and then didn't tell me exactly how to do it. It drives me insane. A lot of the information you're learning on YouTube, they're teaching you how to do deals like straight up, but how does it work in the real world? Like, how do you actually do it during your day? Okay. So I'm getting you clear, right? What do you do? We're a wholesaler. You're going to help flippers find the next flip. We're going to help cash buyers find a property to flip, right? Or if you're finding people, if your cash buyers are people that just want rentals, great. You're going to help people find their next rental property. Get what I'm saying? You're finding a discounted property. You're passing it off to a buyer. Now, now that we know exactly what we're doing, how do we plug this into your day? Okay. So while I'm pulling this up, because I'm going to screen share this with you and I'm going to give you a practical exercise. I'm going to show you exactly how to take control of your time. While I'm pulling this up, put it in the comments. Let me know. Is this striking you? Is anything clicking? Is it hitting home? Do you like it? You feel like it's a waste of your time? If it's a waste of your time, feel free to go. But tell me what you like. I like good feedback, bad feedback. I don't really care. I know what I'm doing and I know this is valuable. So put it in the comments. Let me know what you think. And then I'm going to pull this up here. Bear with me. I'm running the share myself. Here we go. Okay. Let me see if I can make that bigger for you. Can you guys see this okay? Oh. Looks like we can. There we go. Okay. Can everybody see that all right? This is where we're going to start when it comes to taking control of your time. This is what I want you to do. We're going to make 3 lists. So this is 3 separate pieces of paper. Like just take notebook paper if you like paper, or take notes on your phone. Doesn't matter. You can start 3 separate notes, 3 separate pieces of paper. I don't really care, but you're going to have 3 different lists. Okay. And your 3 different lists are your have-tos, flexibles, and your wants. Okay. Now we're going to start one at a time. Very simply, how do we make this work in a practical exercise? You're going to take one piece of paper and write have tos at the top of it. Take the next piece of paper, write flexibles at the top of it. Take your third list and write wants at the top of it. Now we're only going to work on your have tos. Your have tos are things that you have to do at a specific time. So if you have a W-2 job and kids, you know, I have to get them up at 6 o'clock to be at the corner to meet the bus at 7. My kids don't go to public school, so I don't know the times. So forget the times and plug them into your life. If you have to have them up at 6, you have to have them at the corner at 7 to catch the bus. Then it is, I have to get the kids up at 6 to the corner by 7. So get the kids up, get them to the bus, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Write that on your have tos list. You have to be at work at 8 o'clock. If you have to start driving at 7:30 to be there at 8 o'clock, then you write down commute to work, 7:30 to 8. Because you have to be at work from 8 to 5. So if you have to be to work from 8 to 5, this is where I want to stop you because we're going to get micro here. We have to find the time that you have. So I need to break this I'm busy 8 to 5 mentality because you're not busy 8 to 5. Most likely, you have a 10 o'clock break. You're at work at 8. You get a break for 15 minutes at 10 o'clock. Then you get a lunch break, even if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, 12, 12:30, 1 o'clock, whatever. Then you're probably going to get an afternoon break for 15 minutes, right? Around 2-ish, 2 or 3-ish. And then you get off at 5 or 6. So I want you to think, I'm busy from 8 to 5. I want you to stop that. And I want you to think, okay, I have to drive from 7:30 to 8. I have to work from 8 to 10. From 10 to 10:15, I get a break. Leave that time open. So your have to is work from 8 to 10. And then work from 10:15 to noon for your lunch break. And then work from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then work from 3:15 to 5. You see how we left open the break times, 15 minutes in the morning at 10 o'clock. And now you've got an hour open for lunch from 12 to 1. And you've got 15 minutes open from 3 to 3:15. Then you get off work at 5. So see, now when we write this on a list, I'm going to show you how we can use those 15-minute gaps and the 1 hour gaps to fill in other things. Okay. So on your have tos list, I have to be to work 8 to 10, 10 to 15 to noon, whatever, right? Write that down, your have tos. Have tos are, I have to do it at a set time. Okay. Write down everything you can think of that is you have to be done at a set time. Now, second list, your flexibles. Flexibles are things that have to be done, but the time that you do it is flexible, right? Like laundry, the dishes, dinner time, depending on you, workout, depending on you, right? What are things that have to be done in your mind, but when you do them is up in the air, right? Doing the laundry, it doesn't have to be done at 8 o'clock in the morning or in the evening. It's not like if you don't show up, they don't get done, right? So flexibles, I have to do the laundry or I run out of clothes, but I could start the laundry at 12 p.m. at night after everybody's in bed and everything else, and I could do it and then swap it over and go to bed and wake up and it's in the dryer. Okay, so flexibles are anything that has to be done, but the time is flexible. Write down everything. So do the laundry, and you're just writing down do the laundry, wash the dishes, take out the trash, mow the lawn, like whatever little stuff, like think about it, spend some time on this, look at your day and just go, what do I spend my time doing? And write it down. Okay. It's going to fit into all three in one of these three categories. It's either going to be something you have to do. It's going to be something that you have to do, but when you do it is up in the air, or it's going to be a want. A want is like, I want to change my situation. I want to quit my job and be able to work for myself doing wholesaling. Okay. So a want is start wholesaling, right? A want is, I want to read this book. I want to read 2 books a month. So I want to read this book, and I want to read this book, and I want to read this book, and I want to read this book. I want to do a triathlon. I want to whatever. Okay. Write down everything that you want to do. Now, I'm going to show you what this looks like and where you would start with this in a practical way, because I've had people ask me, even though I bring this up like this, I know people are going to ask, and it's like, what does this look like in real life? So I'm going to show you and give you a practical exercise. Once you have your 3 lists, right? Your have-tos, your flexibles, and your wants, then what do you do with those? So now we want to take those lists and we want to plug them into a calendar. For those of you who don't use a calendar, this is part of the reason that you're scattered and don't know what to do every day. Or why you might deep down feel like you're forgetting something or you're missing something. Anybody ever felt like they're forgetting something or they're missing something? Like, oh, I don't know if I got everything done today. Did I get everything done? What was I doing today? What did I do today? That's because you're not scheduling your time and blocking your time. Okay. Making these lists is an amazing place to start tracking. Where am I spending all my time? Have to, flexibles, wants, 3 lists. Now, what do we do with those? We're going to plug them into a calendar. Now, I'm going to make this easy, and bear with me looking around here. I'm changing my screen share. I'm going to show you what we do with this. We take a calendar. Okay. Now, a lot of you have a Gmail, Google Calendar, right? And I'm going to show you, like, if we take a Google Calendar, there we go. Okay, let me make sure you guys can see this. Can you guys see this all right? I'm jumping screens back and forth, so I want to make sure that you guys can see it. Put it in the comments, please. Let me know if you can see this all right. If you pull up a Google Calendar for your email, so you start aaronmjennings@gmail.com, right? Now we've got a Google Calendar. Okay, good. You can see it. Now we have a Google Calendar, right? When we log into Gmail, we can go to those 3 dots in the top right-hand corner. Sorry, I'm reshaping it here. Okay, there we go. In the top right-hand corner, there's these 9 dots, right? Up here by the name. On those 9 dots, if you click on them, you click on calendar. When you click on calendar, it's going to come up as an empty calendar, just like this, right? Now, if we have 3 lists made, have-tos, flexibles, and wants, the first thing we're going to do is start with our have-tos. So I'm going to use a couple examples here, like I'm reading off my have-tos if I have a W-2 job. If I take my W-2 job and I have to start driving from at 7:30 to be there at 8, then I'm going to take that and I'm going to plug it into this empty calendar. I'm going to click right here on Monday morning. I'm going to click right there, and you see how when I click, it brings it up a box. I can say commute to work. I can set the time for 7:30 to 8. Okay. Right here underneath that, we can click does not repeat. If we click on that, we can say, well, every weekday, Monday to Friday. And then we can change the color here to whatever we'd like and set a reminder if we want. Let's say 5 minutes. I want to know, I like a notification on my calendar 5 minutes before, and I want to make the color like gold. Now, if I hit save, it's going to populate that through the week. And you see right here, it says 7:30 to 8:30. I made a mistake, right? Because it's only supposed to be 7:30 to 8. I got to be to work at 8. So I can just click on this first one, click on the pencil to edit it, and it'll pull it up like this. And right here at the top, we've got 7:30 is when I start my commute, and I change this to 8. Okay. Change that, hit save. It's going to say this and following events because I want it to change all of them from 7:30 to 8. Now, when I do that, now it has changed it. Now see my calendar is blocked from 7:30 to 8, commute to work, 7:30. Now from 8 to 10, I have to work. At 10 to 10:15, I get a break, right? So I'm just going to click in here at 8. Same thing. I'm going to say W2 job. I'm going to change the time. It's from 8 to 10:15. And see here, it only says 10 to 10:30. So I'm going to leave that at 10. And I'll show you here in a second why I did that. Make it repeat all week, Monday through Friday. I'm going to change it to gold because this is part of my work and I just want it to be gold. Make a reminder 5 minutes before. And then I'm going to hit save. And it's going to populate this across here. Now, I can click on the bottom. You see how this arrow pops up? This little up and down directional arrow. If I wanted to change this time, I can click and just drag it. And it's going to ask me if I want to change all of them that way. And it instantly changes all of them. If I just drag that back up because it's just from, if I drag that back up to 10 because we just want it from till 10, this and following events, done. So see, now I've actually blocked, just like that, we've blocked our commute and our W2 from 8 to 10. Now I get a break, 10:15, so I'm just going to click in here, change this time to 10:15 to 10. My break is from 10 to 10:15, 15 minutes. W2 break time. I want to make this color different because this is me time. It's not work time now. Right? So I'm going to leave me time blue. I'm going to say that repeats Monday through Friday. I'm going to save. So now I have W2 break time right in there, 10 to 15 minutes. You see how I'm starting to plug these things in? Does this help? Does this help you guys to actually see it being done? It's not rocket science, but I know that when people don't walk you through how to do it, you'll learning loop this thing and you'll spend the next 2 years on YouTube trying to figure it out. So is this helpful? Do you feel like that's easy enough, clean and clear and simple enough? Make 3 lists and then just take your have tos and start plugging them into your calendar. Right? Now, if we jump back, once you get all of your have tos in, okay, then you're going to go to your flexibles. So let's say we've got our, let me plug a few more in here real quick, just so you guys can see what it looks like. Say work. I'm going to try and do this quickly. And I'm not going to make them go all the way across because I want to show you what one day would look like. 12, and then I'm going to have 12 to 1 as a lunch break. I'm going to have from 1 to 3 is work. Give me just a second. 1 to 3 is work. 3 to 3:15 is break time. And then 3:15 to 5 is the finish of my work day. Okay, if I went and I plugged in my work to this day right here, you can see my calendar, right? So at 7:30, I got to commute to work, 7:30 to 8. 8 to 10 is my work, right? And then 10 to 10:15, there's a break time. This right here needs to be, sorry, I'm straightening this out. Okay, so and then I've got break time right there. And I'm going to delete this break time so you can see what I'm saying here. We've got a space right there where we've got a 15-minute break time window, right? Now from 12 to 1, I've got a white space where it's open. This is my lunch break. At 3 to 3:15, I've got a 15-minute window right there. So you see how when we plug in the have tos, we now have a gold spot that's blocked out and then a white spot that's available, and then a work spot that's blocked out and a white spot that's available, and a work spot that's blocked out and a white spot available. You see how now we know our have tos have to be done at that time. And now we can see the white space is where we have things available, right? So the white space now is what we have available to start plugging in our flexibles. So if I work from home, let's say I got this W2 job, but I work from home, I can now take, and I've got this 15-minute window and I'm literally at my house already. So at 10 o'clock, when I get my first 15-minute break, I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'll start the laundry during that time. So then I'm going to click in there and I'm just going to put do laundry. I'm going to go 10 to 10:15. During that break, that's my point right there is to do the laundry on that day. You notice I didn't make that repeat across the whole week because I don't have laundry all week. Like I only do laundry on Mondays or Mondays and Thursdays or Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays or something. Like you can block in one little piece. So you're going to take your first list of have tos and you block them onto your calendar. Done. Now you can like actually see everything in your calendar that is a have to. Now you go to your list of flexibles and you plug them into the white spaces where you have available time. Then you're going to go back and take your wants and you're going to plug them into the gaps. So let's say you don't work at home and you've got a 15-minute break. You obviously can't start your laundry, but if on your want list you want to read a book, you plug in read for 15 minutes. Read this book for 15 minutes. Now you're plugging your wants into your block time so that when you get your 15-minute break, you don't just pull your phone out and start fiddling with Facebook and waste your 15-minute break because you didn't have anything to do. It's intentionally blocked. No, at my 15-minute break, I read for 15 minutes. I just read 5 pages and then I go back to work. And then on my lunch break, I've got an hour and I take 30 minutes for lunch and then I read for 15 minutes and then I work on my business for 15 minutes. Or I take 30 minutes for lunch and I take 30 minutes to work on my business. And you plug it in. Okay. Now, I'll show you what this looks like when it's when you get it all done, right? And you actually get your list plugged in, what could it look like, right? It's going to seem like a lot here, but deal with me or bear with me. Okay. You guys see this one now? This is my calendar. Done. I don't just tell you guys to do this. If you don't master your time, the world will take your time. If you don't know where your time is going, the world's not going to care. They're not going to look out for it for you. I start all the way at the top of the calendar. If you scroll up, it starts at midnight, right? Your day, the hours in the day start at midnight to midnight. So I block on my calendar from midnight to 6 a.m. This gray area, it says sleep because I'm sleeping. On my calendar, I sleep from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. and I block it on my calendar. It's protected time. When I get up in the morning, you see the blue time, 6 to 6:45 is my time where I move, I pray, I read my Bible, I get my body up and around, okay? And then from 6:45 to 7:45, I've got marriage time with my wife. We talk about stuff that like helps our relationship move forward. We do Bible studies together. We dig into the word together. We pray together. That's 6:45 to 7:45. 7:45 to 9, my time again. Personal God time. Read my life statement, my affirmations, my non-negotiables. I review who I am. I go through my affirmations and things. Okay. 9 o'clock, I wake my girls up. 9 to 10 o'clock, we get our girls up and I get them around. I get them dressed. I get their hair done. I get them breakfast, read a Bible story with them. I do affirmations with my girls. And then at 10 o'clock, my wife takes them and starts homeschooling. Okay. So that shows up right here on my calendar. It's blocked. I don't just assume, well, I get up at 6 and I'll just do what I do. It's blocked and protected. You're not going to get a hold of me before 10 a.m. unless you are inside this small group of people that can get a hold of me inside of before 10 a.m. I am not worried about losing deals or losing the sale or losing a customer because my day starts with intention, God, and family. That's how my day starts. How does yours start? Do you wake up and the world's just like, let's go? And you're like, okay, let's go. That's how most people are doing it. Or do you wake up and the world goes, let's go, and you go, shh, I'll be there when I get there? You have to take control of your time. If you don't respect your time, nobody else is going to respect it for you. Guaranteed. The world will take from you whatever you will allow it to. So this is what it looks like when you start plugging it in. Now, I use the colors to visually represent what I have trained myself to get used to, right? So anything that is gold is actually a meeting with other people, a work meeting with other people. Anything that is blue is my personal time, like God, workout, affirmations, my personal growth. Those are blue. Gold time is like meetings with other people. Purple is time with my family, no other people, no phones, no other people, no other stuff. Orange is ministry time with other people. And then you see I go right on into the evening. 9 p.m., we get the girls ready for bed, get them in bed. 10 o'clock, I do my scorecard. 11 o'clock, it's bedtime. It goes Saturday. I've got the whole Saturday blocked out for my family. Everything is blocked, even on the weekends. The idea here is that you have to know where your time's going and where you're spending it. You have to control it. Because if not, this is how a 15-minute project turns into all day of, I don't really know what I did today. Or I don't know what I need to do tomorrow. You don't know what you need to do because you don't know what you do. You don't know how you do it, and you don't know why you do it that way. Okay, so homework today is clarity. What do you do? Very clear. If you had 30 seconds in an elevator with me, what do you tell me that you do that would make me interested if I'm somebody that you're looking for, right? The idea is to attract your ideal client. If I say, I help wholesalers make their first $100,000 organically. If you're a wholesaler struggling to make your first $100,000, you're going to be interested, right? But if you're somebody flipping houses, you're going to be like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. I'll be like, well, what do you do? I'll be like, oh, we flip houses. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Well, hey, it was nice meeting you. Have a good one, right? Because our messages don't align. I don't have anything that helps him, and he doesn't have anything that I need, right? He's flipping houses, doing tons of work. He's not my client. He's not somebody that I'm going to help that's going to benefit from what I'm trying to teach. Could he benefit from some of it? Yes. Do I chase him? No. That's the extreme focus. Okay. If you're a wholesaler, you don't chase fix and flips. Doesn't mean you don't look at them if they come across your desk. It just means you run your numbers like a wholesaler with the intention of contracting and wholesaling. You go, oh, that might be a good flip. Your next thing should be, who do I know that's flipping and how do I sell it to them? Not how do I flip it? Extreme focus. And then how do you say it to somebody cold, 30-second elevator ride that makes them intrigued in what it is that you have to offer? Okay. And then make your lists. Okay. Especially today. Come on, it's day one. You guys have time. Most of you have the day off. Most of you are going to blow a couple hours on social media over the course of the day. Instead of doing that today, do this today. So if you find yourself scrolling on Facebook and you're like, why did I even open this up? Like, be intentional, being a creator instead of a consumer. You catch yourself picking up your phone for any reason, open up one of your lists, have tos, flexibles, and wants, and plug something into it. If you're like, oh, I'm bored. If you have a tendency of going to the bathroom and sitting on Facebook for 45 minutes, work on your lists. Start tracking your time, okay? This is going to give you control over your life. So that's the homework for today, okay? I am going to wrap things up for today because I think that's enough to get you guys started for today. And I don't want to overwhelm you with content on day one. I want you to be able to put it to work. So quick recap. 30-second elevator pitch. What do you do? You are not a real estate investor. What do you do specifically, and who do you do it for? Okay. And then start making your lists. Have tos, flexibles, wants. It may take you longer to start plugging them into your calendar. That's fine. But start making your lists. Okay. That's going to get us a really firm foundation to get started through the rest of this week. And tomorrow we'll move right on into how to get whatever you want in any conversation. Okay. And this is going to come down to knowing what it is that you do and what you want. So today, I need you to figure out what you do. What's your focus? What is the thing that you do? Because tomorrow, when we start talking about how we get what we want in a conversation, you have to know what you want. Okay. So if you know what you do, then you're going to know what you want when you go to any conversation. And that's going to help us dig into how to address these in something I call conversational chess. The person who can think farthest ahead, the most moves ahead in chess, is the one that wins. So how do we apply that to conversations? We know what we want, and now we can work that through conversations. And I'll give you lots of examples. We're going to dig into it. It's always a fun day because everybody always struggles with, like, what do I say to sellers? How do I get a private money lender to give me any money? That's what tomorrow is. Tomorrow, I will show you exactly how to get in the mind of who you're talking to and speak to them in a way that makes them want to give you what it is that you're after. So that's tomorrow. And then day three. What's day three? Social profile to generate leads. Woo! I know people making $1 million a year just setting their profiles up. And if you want to get a head start, go look at my Facebook profile. A lot of you came through my profile or creeped me at some point or other and checked me out. So go look at my profile, see what you see. And on day 3, I'm going to teach you exactly how to do that, because a lot of you are here in this because you creeped me and ended up in the challenge. And so I'm going to teach you how to do that to where leads come to you instead of you having to go look for them. Day 4, I'm going to show you how to build a team and the importance of why day 1, 2, and 3, what we're building and how that will apply to your team, how the team will react to the things that you have in place, how to talk to them, everything else. And then day 5, I'm going to give you the CRM that you can use for free. You'll copy and paste it, and then you'll own it in your account. You don't even have to paste it. You'll just copy it and you'll own it in your account. And it's a free app, won't cost you a dime to keep it going. So you can track your leads without having to worry about the monthly expenses. And then, and I'll have you up and running with it in 30 minutes. I'm going to give you the training videos to go with it. Less than 30 minutes. You'll know exactly how to run it. It's awesome. So thank you guys so much. Time is something that you can't get back. And so I appreciate you spending some time with me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday and enjoy the rest of your day. And then we will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.